Hey everyone, so we're getting ready to break down my most recent yarn slash whatever you want to call it haul. Um, One of my favorite places to go in my town is the Lobs of Hob, um, my local Hobby Lobby, and I like to just browse, especially when there is a sale maybe on the yarn that happens pretty frequently because it's yarn, and I have found a new favorite yarn there that I didn't know would be a favorite because of my experience with some other yarns of the same blend. Um, but they are having a sale, and so I went and I looked and I looked and just I bought and I bought. Now, hear me. Uh, it was on sale, but uh, who knows? Maybe I'll do more haul videos. Maybe I won't. But I wanted to break this one down for you, kind of show some things I got. One of the first things I got that actually wasn't on sale, but that I wanted to try is I have never done any of these kinds of crochet hooks, and but they were reasonably priced. And the thing is, I'm not a huge plastic fan, but I wanted to try these as a way of like getting in to see if I do like the luxury crochet hook feel. Um, I've never really used ones. Like I use the grip ones, but I've never really used ones like this before. And so I wanted to see if it would work with my style of crocheting. As y'all know, if you've seen any of my tutorial videos at this point, um, I have a weird way of crocheting. I have an odd style. And my style is a little unique of how I hold my crochet hook. So I've never really been sure if these kind of hooks would work for me. And so I wanted to try a few and see if at least in holding them they worked, so I could then maybe try the nicer brands, right? That's how this works. I feel like you've got to use the baby or the cheaper versions to get to the place to where to see if, you want the nicer version or not. And that's why I got these, because as you can see, they're reasonably priced for crochet hooks, not bad at all. $1.99, $2.29, $1.99, but they are, like I said, plastic, and um again, they are definitely a different look and feel, and so I'm going to interested to see if it kind of works for me. I will say this about them, even though they are on the um lower inside of cost of crochet hooks, one of the things I like is you do have your millimeters on here and your size, and it feels a little raised, so I don't know if it'll rub off or not over time, but they are color coded, and I like that as well. um and again, I just like the fact that these are kind of shaped the way some of the nicer hooks are, so I can try to see if maybe this is an area that I want to use in the future. um and so I got the J hook, which is something I use frequently. You've seen me using the J hook on our granny square blankets, for your quick and easy granny squares. I really do like that. I got the eye hook because, again, I kind of got the four common ones that I use. I got the eye hook. Um, I use that in my magic ball um, blanket, which we are going to be delving more into how to make a magic ball um, from your bits of yarn, as well as the virus blanket pattern that I'm using to crochet with it. And who knows, maybe I'll switch over to this hook and try a little bit of it with that. We'll see. Um, then I got the H, because again, an H is kind of your common hook. And again, I kind of want to try making one of my granny square, like the um, granny square, oversized granny square cardigans I make with this. The one size fits most. And this one would be great for that because this is the size hook, the H that I use for those. Be great to break that down, and then G, because again, G through J are kind of the common hooks, and I use these a lot. And so it'll be great to, again, try that. And I do like that as small as the G hook is, it does have a kind of a good grip on it. So I'm interested to try these out, see how they do, see if I like the feel. It's just a way to start to maybe broach into that side of the world, because that's not something I normally do, but I am interested to see how these play out. So I got these hooks. Next up on the list, I want to kind of go through the accessory side of stuff, or the like side stuff that I got, and then we'll get into the like more interesting stuff. So one of the projects I have that we're going to be working on here shortly is towards the end of September, maybe beginning of October, is I've got some theme related headbands. And the jewelry shop was also on sale this week. It was 50% off, so cool. And so I bought these series of headbands because I just want to start trying. I want to start trying to see how those things work. Because the idea is there's a Halloween one, there's a Thanksgiving one, and a Christmas one I want to try and just see what it's like to build it. And then I may take some of the things that I learn or whatever and build my own. Besides these, we'll also be using some of my Dollar Tree finds and doing some wreaths related to each of those as well. Um, but again, you can't beat half off, so that $4 becomes $2, and it's a great way to start. So I'm going to leave these in the packaging for now because I want to kind of keep them together and try to keep them a little more stable that way. So I got those. Now, I have had station their paper studio stuff was also 50% off, or no, it was 40% off this week. But I also have a lot of their stationery, like their plain stationery that I do my thank you cards that I send in the things off of my Etsy store. And so I always like to leave a little card in there. Either I will have a card for the person receiving it if it's a gift, or specifically if someone has purchased something from me. I like to put a thank you note in there, and I have stamps, and I make it all fun looking. But I didn't really have envelopes, so I picked up some of those. Now, I've not talked. Oh, one quick side note. Because of the Granny Square book that we're going through, there was a color that I was out of yarn that I picked up. So I'll just flash that here. Really bright. I am wanting to use some of the squares to make something for somebody in my life who absolutely loves pink. And so I'm kind of doing that both in acrylic, which this is one of the acrylic yarns, and I'm also doing it in my new love for cotton yarns, and just kind of doing some samplers. Whatever I don't use, I think I'm going to throw into like a pillow or something small like that to go along with it. But you'll see what I mean when we kind of get into more of the Granny Square book, as well as we start doing the sampler blanket, because we're going to do one of those a week kind of thing. And you'll start to see some of that. But I also, there's a lot of flower squares in that book that I love. And so it's time for the person in my life who's getting a little older to have a bigger blanket than they currently have. And part of that is me trying to play around with color. And this is one of the colors I love. Yes, it's bright. Yes, it's loud, but definitely pink. And so it became important that I make sure I get another round of this for that potential blanket, because I really did like the way that this one came out with this yarn. Whether it ends up more like pillow than it does blanket, we'll see. But there's that. And now we get into my real haul of yarn. So one of the things that in the last few weeks, I would say, is I've really gotten into cotton. And hear me, 100% cotton, yes, can be hard on you, it can be all those things. However, I found a cotton that I love, and I found a cotton that is easy to work with. It's smooth. Like, it started with one skein, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. I am in real trouble because I love the look of cotton. I love the way it turns out. Um, if you don't believe me, I'm just going to do this real quick. This is my new cotton bag that I made myself for my birthday. It's more like a rucksack. I'm going to put pictures up on the channel at some point. Probably will put up a solid picture in this video as well. But um, the more and more, I can't remember what project started it. There was something that I was working on that was a cotton thing. And when I used it, I was like, oh, I'm in so much trouble because this is so much better than anything I've used. And next thing I know, I'm off to the races because it doesn't pull, like when you pull this particular brand of cotton, it does not feel like your scratchy sugar peaches and cream cotton, which is what I was used to. It doesn't feel like, oh, I know what it was. And I don't have it nearby to show you, but I was using a Lion Brand pattern that called for cotton to make a purse. It's called the butterfly purse. For those of you who've heard about a little bit about One Hook, Two Hands and how the design is inspired by butterflies. Butterflies for me are a symbol of hope. They're a symbol of change. They're a symbol of really dying to self and like having to go into the cocoon and completely bleh, to transform and become out on the other side. And it takes discipline and work and these things to get out of that bleh too, even though it's a necessary part of the process. And so, because basically caterpillars turn into sludge before they turn into a butterfly. And if they don't break their own cocoons, oftentimes their wings and their bodies are not strong enough to fly and those kinds of things. So it's really critically important that they do that. And that's a whole longer conversation. But over the years, whenever I've needed a symbol of hope, whenever I've needed reassurance, whenever I've been in a moment of just crying out to God, really. And yes, I believe, as my dad likes to say, we believe in grace and truth, which just means we believe Jesus is true, but we ain't angry about it. And that's how I live my life. And so, but when I really need reassurance, God has just brought butterflies at a time, either at a time of year they shouldn't be around, at a place they really shouldn't be, and just has like reassured me through the butterflies. And so for me, they are a symbol of hope, of moving forward. And so um, I there was a great moment early on when I was just trying to deal with the first initial diagnosis I had that ended up being taken away later. Um, but I was trying to reconcile all of that, and I just had this moment where it was like the butterflies swirled around me, and so I kind of wanted to make a swirled butterflies instead of just all over like this pattern called for. Love the way it turned out. Love the way the bag turned out. But you need to do it in cotton. So I went to try, and hear me, even the Lion Brand cotton I have found, now granted, if you want me to actually do a review video of multiple different cottons, I will. Um, but I have found that they in particular were good, but they still kind of had that really rough pull, and like the finished product's great, but they still have kind of a rough pull. They still were kind of hard to work with, hand wise. And then I went to Hobby Lobby, y'all. I went to Hobby Lobby and I found I love this yarn. I love this cotton. And I do. I probably have it in so many colors. See, there's one bag. Let's see. Here's a second bag. I have half of some of what I already have in another bag. I have this that I'm getting ready. Now, these are not the final colors, so don't read too hard into this, but this is going to be my container for a mood blanket towards my healing, and I'll talk about this one later container. But these are a few of the I love these cottons that I got. And basically, I bought out every color I didn't already have today because yarn was on sale, and they're not inexpensive. Oh, here's my like neutrals of them. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I've got things everywhere, doing everything, different projects. But I proceeded to buy pretty much every color I do not already have, and hear me. Or ones I already do and I like that one, and it was almost out. Do 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 do. And as the pile starts to fall down. And I think that's the last one in the bag. Yep. So I got all of these yarns. And because they were on sale, it was a pretty decent price for all of them. I think I'd have to look at my thing again, but I want to say it was not too bad. Hold on. So for all of those, yeah, I got 15 and it was about $40. So with tax and everything. So not too bad for getting all of these. And then there's one other type of yarn I got today. Because again, like I said, I like it because of the feel. I'm a texture girl when it comes to yarn. It's got to be a right texture for me. I don't like working. Part of the reason for me, not as a yarn snob, but as a I have sensory issues. Part of the reason I don't like working with red heart yarn as much is because of how it feels. And this cotton feels so soft to me, and it's comfortable to me that like I will um always use it. Because it's just, and again, when you pull it, it doesn't have quite the like roughness that you do when you have other cottons and even some other acrylic yarns. Like I love it. um so there's that. But the reason I bring that up is because I found also a new cotton that I love. Now, again, we're talking about the Hobbs of Lob, and I like soft. I like it to pull well. I like it to have interesting color combinations no matter what. And I like being able to like blend stuff and maybe in this case almost do like a beach theme because I think I'm what's going to have or um with the color combinations I've got right here. But these are Yarn Bees Sugar Wheel Cotton. And again, on sale, y'all. I'm an on sale girl. And again, it has that smooth kind of texture that even these have. And I kind of pulled with it a little bit, and it was an easy pull, which again just makes me like the smooth pull. I guess is a better word for it, smooth pull. Just made me really like happy and wanted to try. And I'm thinking about doing like a shawl kind of thing, wrap kind of thing with these. Um, maybe for somebody I know, maybe not. But I'm interested to see how like they play out as I go. But I just love the feel of these, and so um, kind of couldn't help myself. Got a couple of these to try to play with, and yeah. So that's my current yarn haul from Hobby Lobby. I'm looking forward to showing you the things that I make with it, showing you some of the things that I do. Um, and yeah, and just taking it one step at a time and showing you some of the new interesting steps, including trying some new style of crochet hooks to see if that's something I want to invest in more. If there's something you saw and we're like, hey, would you review X? Or hey, maybe would you mind, doing a video where you talk us through why you chose this particular type of cotton or where you chose this particular yarn? Or hey, could you review some of these yarns? If you'd let me know in the comment section, um, I would absolutely love to and like to try some things. And hear me, you're gonna get to come across some of the journey for me. One of the reasons I started the channel was to be able to take some of these journeys with y'all and to be able to try some new things and to challenge myself and to get out of a rut that I'd gotten into with some of this. And so I'm excited to try these and try some of these new things and new projects as we go. And so um, if you'll, like I said, we're just going to go along and figure it out as we go together. And who knows, maybe if something you do sparks my fancy, we will definitely give you a shout out in the next video. But again, if there's something you see that you liked or want to know more about, or hey, have you tried da da da, put it in the comments and I will see what I want to do. But yeah, I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. This channel is really starting to get my creative juices flowing again in a new way. Um, Almost to the point like I'm having to write ideas down so I don't get ahead of myself too fast. But I'm excited, and so I will see you on the flip side. All right, guys, so I didn't plan videoing this, so I didn't even bring my lovely little mic and all of that stuff into Walmart with me, but I came because I needed to do some things, and like normal, I'm always stopping by the yarn aisle. And because of that, I really came to actually look at their mandala yarns and the to see what was here. I'm kind of looking for some specific colorways, but well, let me see if it'll flip. I don't think at this point it's gonna flip on me because my camera is my camera, but I found these. And I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't want to at least try them. I've never done that. You know, not really a red heart girl, and it's not because of like a lot of most people's reasons. It's just, for me, it's a texture thing, y'all. Textures and I get along sometimes and sometimes we don't. But I do kind of want to try. And there is something to me about the blue calling. I mean, I could do the greens, which is kind of pretty. But I also kind of like, there is a beige one as well that's pretty, that even if it doesn't work out, I could use it for other things. So you know what? I'm going to take that in the blue and we'll see how that works. All right. So there's that. Really, I'm here because of, well, I'm going to stop the video and then come back in just a second. Hold on. I really kind of came for this section. The mandalas, the puzzle premiere, which I've heard a lot about, and guys, oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. And I'm in trouble. But, you know, and I really need to look at my mandala yarns because I need some neutrals to go with that. But oh my word, y'all, I'm in trouble. I will come back to that for a minute. Ooh, they even have one of the big bonus bundles of mandala. That's pretty. Not a colorway I need though. Oh, and this is the other thing. Like Premier Bloom is chunky, is something I've wanted to try. And I could even use that for like something I've been thinking about doing for my thingamabob. You know, that thing Battle the Stitches. Guys, the brain fog is real. We talk about it all the time, but the brain fog is real. And gosh, that would be fun to do it in. Okay, I'm totally revamping my color scheme because like what I was originally going to do it in, I'm now not doing it in. I'm going to do it in this. And maybe do something else. But, y'all, there's no such thing as an easy yarn shopping thing for me. So I actually came here because, again, like I said, it really honestly, my mandala yarns. And so I'm going to sit down here, and you know what? There is a 6-piece or 4-piece. I need some extra squares. 1, 2. I need some extra blocking boards. Not a whole lot, so I may get that. We'll see if I do. But there's that. So I have a blanket I'm working on that I believe this is it. If I look at, yes, I definitely need one of these. But I also need some mandala kind of like, I'm going to make a sweater out of something like this, and I need something to kind of like tie it together. And I have this color in it, and then there's another color that I got online. I can't even remember the name of that color now, and I'm not really seeing it in front of my eyes of what it is, and so I'm gonna have to get off of here and look. But I need something to kind of like calm it down, which it may end up being this ombre, or it may be this ombre actually. We'll see which one I choose. But yeah, I kind of came for the mandala yarns today, and that's so not how my day is going. But I think it'll be interesting to see, and I think this is what I need to finish off the project that I'm talking about. So we're getting some things I wasn't expecting. We may be getting some other things, and I may be putting some things back that I thought, I kind of need these to finish some projects, but I really don't when I really think about it. So I've got some decisions to make, y'all. I hope you guys, well, what you say? I'll see you on the flip side. Bye. Hey guys, this is Sarah, and welcome back to One Hook, Two Hands. And today's Friday, the 22nd of August. And, you know, I kind of did something this week that I didn't ever really intend to do, but I kind of just decided I wanted to invite y'all in on the thing, which was do a yarn haul. So I went to one of the places, some people like it, some people don't, Hobby Lobby. And then after work today, I went to Walmart. And I went to both of these places specifically for the yarn. And I have a video where from the other day, I really wasn't intending to, so I didn't film in Hobby Lobby or say anything about it after I got out. But I did find some pretty cool things, some pretty cool yarns. And there's a reason for me, I like their yarns. I struggle with texture. Even before the chronic illness, which has added a whole extra dimension to it, I'm a texture girl. Like, how things feel is important to me. It's got to be spot on, because if it's not, it's hard for me to work with, and I don't want to finish a project. A lot of red heart yarns are, unless they're older and have been already softened really well. At least for me, you know, there's several different things like that. Like, it's texture. One of the reasons I never worked with cotton until like literally 2 or 3 weeks ago was it hurt, it was scratchy, it was itchy. I did it occasionally for coasters or pot holders, but I didn't really do it. Well, I went to a friend of mine encouraged me to try I love this cotton because I like a lot of things. And next thing I knew, I love this cotton fiend. Like, I think I own every color out there right now. And part of that is I did that in the video that you'll see here in a minute. The other is like, you know, I preferred the acrylics for a while. There's a couple other acrylics I think I kind of like better depending on what I'm using it for. I still really like the acrylics for my Granny Square sweater that it's kind of a fancy Granny Square. You'll see what I mean when I debut that one here in a few weeks. Um, there are, yeah, I never thought about really bringing you guys along until I was already there at the Hobby Lobby. And so I just decided when I got home to film what I got and kind of share with you. And haven't watched it yet, so I don't know if I did a good job explaining it or explaining why I got the things I did. Did enjoy doing it though. And then today, like I said, I went to Walmart, and there'll be a brief clip where you can tell I wasn't planning on bringing you guys with because I didn't have my microphone, didn't really have a great look at the camera or anything, but was trying to show you a few things. That said, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm ready and kind of want to show you what I got at Walmart. So one of the things I truly believe is there's an up mark on women, or what I like to call the pink price tag. Because hear me, the same little tackle box that's $19.99 or something in the crocheter section or in the crafting section, you go over to the men's department, that thing's maybe 15. Just saying. So when it comes to notions and things like that, I do recommend going to the hardware department at Walmart and just looking. Like I can't remember the name of the brand, but there's like this stackable thing of like it's trays, and then inside of the bigger thing it's trays too, and it's like a 3-piece set that honestly, Christmas is coming, Mom, Dad, Jonathan, Kelly. um that I wouldn't mind having because it's perfect. It rolls. It's something I could take with me to craft shows. It's great. I love it. So, um, you never know what you're going to find when you're in there. And I should have really videoed that. I didn't, but I did get this. And this is a 2-pack of hyper tough organizers, which I always love that. On a guy, you got to be hyper tough. Well, but it's a hyper organizers. And as part of it, like I said, it's a 2-pack. It's stackable, and it works with the hyper tough utility boxes. And did I bring my knife over here? Oh, please. I do not know what I just dropped, but I'm pretty sure my knife is over here somewhere. Because I could. There. Well, one of them. I have lots of knives, y'all. I am. Ooh. Well, that's not. Sorry, what I dropped a second ago was not great to have dropped, but it's not bad to have dropped either. It won't kill. It's not something that it'll kill what dropped, which I'm grateful for, because there is something that over there that would have been a problem. So it's these 2-pack organizers. They were $10, give or take. Probably 10 by the time I got through tax. And always have a good pocket knife, ladies. Always. Sorry, I have several at all times. Just saying. But they're stackable. But the thing I love about these things is when they already come pre-sectioned, and then if you want to, there's your little sections, right? And they're so much cheaper than the stuff you get with crochet and crafting kits. But they're so much more durable, and they're deeper. Like, come on. Like, we all need deeper containers. Like, and the thing snaps on, snaps off. Everything kind of. The thing about the thing I love about guy stuff is everything's meant to kind of come apart, put back together. Love it. You know, in case you need an extra table or you need to flip the thing over, you can pull off the lid or whatever it is you need. Like, it's snappable. It's why I love it, which is why I invested in a 2-pack. Kind of the same reason why. Oh, this is an Amazon find. I'm going to do a side trail here for a second because it's right here with me. I'm doing a shawl that requires beads on it. Well, you can do beads, you cannot do beads. and I wanted to do beads, but I needed to sort different colors of beads to try to figure out what worked best with the different yarns, because I'm trying 2 different versions of this shawl. You'll see it at some point, I'm sure. But one of the things I got for Notions, and I want to shout out the Spoonie. Oh, great. I just spent all my time talking to Shannon, and my brain just completely went blank on her channel. Spoonie. Hopefully. Stitcher. Why can my brain not come up with Stitcher all of a sudden? It went completely blank. I apologize, Shannon. The Spoonie Stitcher. She had recommended using some of the things she found that were helpful for her chronic illness. Also worked really well for your crocheting items, and I agree with her. And one of those things is these little pill packs. You can get a 3-pack for $6-7 right now on Amazon. Love them. But for this particular project, I was needing just a variety of these different beads that I have, trying to figure out what worked with the yarn, what didn't work with the yarn for my project. And I'll leave you up to guess what color this yarn is or what colors I'm using. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what worked, what didn't. Did I like the smaller seed beads they suggested? Did I like the bigger beads? All the things, right? And so I needed to carry those around, so I had those with me. But yeah, you never know how much bigger you need those things. But those are on Amazon. The little pill packs are on Amazon. The bigger things were from Walmart. Again, go visit the tools department, the hardware department at Walmart. You'll be surprised what you find. But yeah, the Spinning Stitcher suggested looking on Amazon for some of her chronic illness stuff that helped, and man, was she right. Like, I started doubling down on some things and getting some more some things. So I highly recommend. So back to Walmart. So we're going to look at a couple of yarns first. And this is the same kind of yarn, just in 2 different colors, which I love both of these. And you might be seeing these real soon on the, because see, originally I was going to stash bust for the Battle of the Stitches, but then I found these, and you know what? I kind of fell in love. So with the colors, given what the idea was in my head, because I wanted to use a chunky yarn. I knew I wanted to use a chunky yarn. And I'd heard about this yarn and I haven't used it yet personally. So I'm really excited to see how it makes, and if it kind of does my vision well for what we're doing. So I got Premier Bloom, which, oh my gosh. First off, I'm a purple girl. Purple everything. Like, now granted, I'm more of a dark purple, like dark purple. And you'll see that when you see the fancy granny square sweater that I like to use. Because it was my second one, and my second one really shows my love for purple. And it also shows, because I'll be showing you like the first one I made and all the mistakes I made and how I corrected into the new one. But I love purple, and blue is my second favorite color. Love blue and green. Those are my other 2 favorites. Well, this has all of that plus pink, which reminds me of my niece. So I just love this yarn, and I think it's amazing. Now, I still may do the Battle of the Stitches project and finish off the one I was working on. And when we do the real deal, I may show both, and I may offer, if somebody wants one of them, they can have the one of their choosing. But yeah, so this is the first color I got 2 skeins, whatever. Absolutely love it. I'm kind of getting back into chunky yarns too, which is a weird thing. But and then I also got, and this colorway is called Wildflower, which is such a perfect thing for it. I mean, come on, it's got greens, it's got purples, it's got pinks, it's got blues. Wildflower is the perfect name for that. And again, it's another one that is tested and all the things, right? And then we've got our bloom. Same size and same weight and type, just in a different color. And this one is called Gerbera, and I like it because I wanted to also have a little bit of a more neutral palette to part of what I'm doing. So I liked this one. It's called Gerbera, and you gotta admit, it's got some orangey, like rosy color or pinky color. It's got this really pretty green in it, and then it's got cream. I'm not a fan of all white, like solid white, if I can help it, just because of the strain on eyes, and also just hear me. I like brides and ivory white, like, or candlelight white. I like a little drop of something in there, and so I love this cream color. It's beautiful. This is the one that I've been admiring for such a long time, and just never broke down and bought it. Well, today I broke down and bought it. So there's those. Now to pull up my other bag. Now, part of the whole reason for going to Walmart was I've been working on a couple projects with Mandela yarn from Lion Brand. Huge Lion Brand girl. Love Lion Brand. If I could afford all Lion Brand yarn, I'd have all Lion Brand yarn, because I do enjoy the quality and the look. Well, one of the things I needed was some cool, because, and the colorway is called cool, is, or if you want to use a different language, frigid, because of a blanket for myself that I'm working. I've done a lot of projects this year for my birthday, and I'm still kind of doing a few more, even kind of this birthday year, and I'll explain that a little bit more when I talk about. I'm going to have a concentrated. There's 3 specific work in progress. Yeah, work in progress is I have that, and one that I just finished that I want to show you, and I want to do a concentrated video on just those 3 things. Um, and part of it, right, the blanket, the other, actually 4 things, 3 things that in progress, 1 that's not. Um, and I don't know when that will drop, but it's on the queue. And but part of that, one of those blankets is I'm using 2 Mandelas, a Karen cake, and oh, a yarn bee purple, because purple's my favorite color. But I'm using the cool as kind of like the neutral in that. And I say neutral, but you can kind of see it's not as neutral looking because of the variety of color in it, which I love. And these are 304 yards, 150 grams, acrylics, which I just love. Mandela ombres, they're just awesome. And so I picked up another one of those because I definitely needed it. Then when I was looking around, one of my works in progress that's not on the sacred list, if you will, is I've been doing these purses that are either 4th of July, 9/11, whatever you want to call them. 2 are specifically 9/11 because of what's on the inside. But I've taken my granny square that I make the granny square sweater out of, and I've made like a side purse. I'll show those to you. But I was really, before my illness went totally wonkadoodle, I was trying to make several for 4th of July and try to sell them. That didn't happen. But I've got them almost all done. I just linings, and then a few little things on one of the purses. Um, definitely want to make more, and so I got this. They were on sale, as you can see, 75 cents for these little fabric swatches. But I love just the kind of 1940s feel of USA colors going on, and I love that it just has a very unique look. So all of my granny square sweaters and all of my purses have an interesting inner liner. Like, I always try to have it some sort of pattern, some sort of interesting look to it. Trying to make it related to the purse outside if I can. With my granny square sweater and purses, also they're double lined, so it's like the outside lining is like a red of the pocket. Like for these would be a solid red, and it's so that you don't see any fraying or anything comes kind of out of the granny square purse. And I'll show you why that's important at one point. But then I like to have patterns fabrics like these for the inside, and so I'm excited to use these. And I got 3 because 75 cents fabric, you can't beat that price anymore. Um, but then we went into all the other things I got. So I know some people may feel like I've run down the red heart yarn. I don't run them down. It's just, again, it goes back to a texture thing. I'm a weird texture girl. And some things feel good to me and some things don't. But when I was going around, I've seen all the videos, and hear me, I know there's good feelings and bad feelings about this one out there, but I want to try. I'm kind of in the I like the challenge thing. So, you know, my friendship with Teresa and Shannon, the Spinny Stitcher and Critters Crochet, all started because Shannon did Teresa's blind crochet granny square challenge. I saw that. I took the challenge, introduced myself, saw they were on live, heard that they were doing the Battle of the Stitches thing, got excited about that, got involved, and it's all spiraled out of there. And so I am going to try to do the Granny Square all-in-one Red Heart Super Saver, and I chose this color. I actually had a brown one too, but then I found some of my other stuff, and so I didn't. The brown basically what looks like caramel. It looks like all of the colors could have been called a variant of caramel, and so I saw that one. I'll go back to it at some point and get it, just because even if it's not for the challenge, it would be great, I think, to do. Uh huh. Sorry, y'all. It's part of this thing, and it's an autonomic thing. I apologize. Um, but I think the caramel one would be great as like just a colorway change thing. Kind of felt the same way about this yarn. So if the granny squares don't work out too well, and I get frustrated real quick, I can still make something pretty with this. And so I really like the blues. Really like the blues. Like really like the blues. So I think I can do something pretty cool with this. And so I wanted to get that, because I will do some sort of blanket, purse, something with those squares. Because that's what I do. Then, okay, to explain this color, I have to go get some yarn from that I had elsewhere. So we'll start with these. Well, we'll actually start with the other set of yarn that inspired those. So I saw these and pretty much has all of my favorite colors or my favorite variant of color in them. And these are another Lion Brand Mandala. They are 100% acrylic. They are machine washable and dryable in theory. I was kind of hoping it would say what colors are in this, but the color way is called Groot, which I just love. Love, 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 love that idea. But I also love the fact that, and it has 590 yards and 150 grams. But guys, the coloring in this, I love the way that they all work together, and it's just kind of a beautiful, pretty thing. I hope you can see that well, like the greens and the like mauvey, and then the pinky, dusty pink, and then kind of that. I don't want to call it mustard yellow, but it's like that deeper yellow, sunset yellow kind of thing. Then you've got the orange sunset, and then you go into the blues that are so pretty. Again, my dusty purples and my green. And I got 2 of these because I'm thinking I would like to try to make some actual sweaters. And what I mean by that is like some pullover sweaters I could wear at work. Now, I wear my Granny Squares sweater that you'll be seeing later um, to work, but it's like it goes over top. I'm looking to make some that I can actually wear as a top. So I got 2 of these, but then I followed it up by getting some of these to kind of edge and outline it. And I don't know what I'm going to do. The thing is, I don't know what pattern I'm going to do. I just knew I like the colors, and this is kind of where I wanted to go because I'm trying to be more adventurous with colors I wear. I'm a dark blue, black, purple, sometimes green or blue person, but I wanted to get this to kind of edge it, to kind of anchor it or whatever we needed. And so this is Cabo. Not a Lion brand I have worked with before, whereas I have with the Mandela, so I knew I would love it. But I really, really like the fact this is cotton and rayon from bamboo. I love bamboo. Bamboo's and cotton's becoming a favorite. Like since I've found I love this cotton, cotton is becoming a favorite. Now I don't know if there's a Hobie cotton or I hate really buying online cotton, so it would I'd have to be able to go touch it at some point or have it show up for me to like try it and say, okay, now I'm invested, right? To buy online because I have to touch, I have to feel. Like I said, I'm a touch girl. It matters to me. I don't want to make something for somebody that I myself wouldn't wear or vice versa. And so I found, and the reason I actually got these together too is they're both 3 weights, which I thought was perfect, light, and they were both perfect so that they would mesh well together, kind of thing, keeping you warm but also being not too bulky and heavy. And you'll understand that statement about my one thing with the Granny Square sweater that I make. Um, but this is called Steel Blue, and I got 3 of these so that as needed it works. Um, and these are definitely, I love the feel, guys. I love bamboo. Bamboo is another favorite. And at some point, I'm going to show you one of my projects I made that was like with some really nice bamboo that I cannot remember the name of because I got it at a local crochet or yarn store in Crossville or Cookville. It's one of the Seavilles on um, I-40 in Tennessee, but it's one of my favorite places to go. And it was one of my first like experiences of doing yarn that wasn't from a box store. And I made this great little road trip scarf with it. Great pattern. I'll share that with you at some point too. And because again, I'm still not allowed to link anything in the description box just yet. I will when I'm able. Um, but it was, yeah, it's my favorite scarf to wear through the winter. So I would love, so again, I'm excited to use this to try it. And so this is a joint project. All right, now at this, there's one more thing before I have to run and get something to show you. So again, if you see the Hobby Lobby before this one, I think I'm going to put Hobby Lobby before this one. I got some crochet hooks that were like the luxury hooks because I never tried any in that shape and size. And I wanted to try and figure out if I liked them or not, right? And so before I invested in some actual expensive ones, I wanted to figure out if that was something I even liked or would want to use, or was it practical? Or is it like some of my dad's pins that he collects where they're not very practical, but they're real pretty to look at? Because I don't, when it comes to hooks, I want to have hooks I would use, have used, or, somebody in my family used kind of thing. I don't like having a lot of hooks that I'm not actually going to use. That said, I have been trying newer hooks, like those 3. The other, so I decided to also get these, and we'll have a hook review of the hooks because I'm actually using them. I decided, again, across the board, it's G, H, I, and J in the Hobby Lobby luxury hooks, the Yarnology luxury hooks. And then With these, I got a G, H, and I. From our dear friends at Lion Brand, whom I love, and their bamboo, which again, just I love because of places I've been in the world. I love bamboo. It's very sustainable, very quick and easy to grow, all the things. So I am interested to try these wooden hooks. I've not really done a lot of wooden hooks, and they are kind of more the basic wooden hooks. So we're going to test them out and see how that goes. Now, I'm going to pause the video and I will be back in just a second. And I'm back. So, side note, because I don't want it to make it sound like I'm just forcing my mom to ball my yarn all the time. But there's a little bit of neurodivergency in my family. We all have our little quirks and idiosyncrasisms. But one of the things is my mom likes to ball my yarn. It calms her down at the end of the day. It's something she likes to do. I don't want to ever think about the day where she's not doing that. But I 100% love the fact that she balls my yarn, because the way that she winds it up, y'all, it's just, it pulls so nice and it makes my day and I love it. But anywho, so I got these 2 different Mandela yarns that I loved and I liked them, but I needed something to kind of anchor them, be a little, because I wanted, again, these are like the sweaters, right? Want to try to make like a joint sweater combination here where there's back and forth, something like that. But I needed to have something that I could anchor it with, and that's why I got this colorway, which is the whole spiel to say that's why I got this colorway, which is Mantra, which I actually love. I actually love. To me, it just reminds me of the sea, the ocean, and you'll see in this one has some blues too, and it kind of reminds me of that. And then this is kind of some lighter blues and pinks and kind of back and forth on that. But again, it pulls some of the same colors too. And so I like the idea of this just anchoring that, and which is why I got this. And that is my Walmart haul for today. So you guys are going to get to see both my Walmart haul and my Hobby Lobby haul. I was going to do this as like 2 videos. Looking at one, may do a brief introduction to the Hobby Lobby, proper introduction to the Hobby Lobby. I don't know. I wasn't feeling being in front of the camera that day. Um, but we'll see. But I just wanted to show you those and kind of let you see some of the things that I've gotten recently. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I like to do and make, guys, and I am all over. So anytime I go on a haul, I think I'm gonna bring you along, because sometimes my haul looks like going to the Dollar Tree and getting storage for stuff. Sometimes it looks like going to Hobby Lobby and just getting, I love this cotton. Sometimes it looks like going and getting the fixtures for things. It has a different look every time I go. And so I really want to kind of share my thought process and like the way that I craft and create things. Just like, I had a totally different color scheme and palette for our Battle of the Stitches this month. And then I saw these guys, right? And I'm like, ooh, this would work really well for what I was planning. So I am excited to show you guys, just kind of bring you along and let you into my head a little bit about how I shop and how I pick things and what I'm looking for and all the pieces and parts. That said, I have a UT blanket that desperately needs to be finished because I left the last few squares blocking over there. You'll see me here shortly in that video, finishing it up and then doing the grand reveal. But I just, like I said, wanted to come in and show you my finds. If you haven't already, take time to like and subscribe, because it does help, y'all. I'm trying to get to 50 so I can do lives, so I can actually meet you, kind of, and join in the lives with some of the other creators. And just am excited to really kind of share my heart and thought process on some of these things and share the craft I love so much with y'all, and some new and interesting things that I've seen and done because of it. So I'm excited to do that. And so liking and subscribing helps, and helps me get more eyes on the channel. It helps me get more people seeing my shorts, helps people see more of like what's going on. And so if you would just take the time to like and subscribe, it really would help. Um, Especially getting to that first 50, that really does help. And then to go from there to kind of be able to do some of these other things going forward. Um, let's see. So yeah. Oh, and I did kind of mention there's some work in progress videos coming. There's going to be so there'll be the official drop of the final combined way to do this particular granny square blanket 5x5 that the UT is. Um, there'll be the finished project Friday UT reveal. Then there will be there's a drop coming for like I said, the full putting that whole thing together in one. Then you will get to see how I make my jumbo giant granny squares that are a little different, which I love. Does kind of show you one more stitch in there for you to practice. And that's a pattern that comes out of Yarn Inspirations, and they make these giant scarves out of them, which I have made, but in this case, I'm using those squares to get ready to make a blanket for a family member. So you'll get to see that. I am joining Battle of the Stitches this next month, and I'm excited about it. My creative juices are already flowing, which I really need to finish the projects this weekend so that they can flow. Like I said, the 2 work in progress videos are going to be coming shortly. My goal is to do like work in progress, like once a month check-ins. I don't know that they'll be hardcore this time of the month because it kind of just depends. I'm currently doing a lot of ministry projects, so there's a lot of works in progress. Um, but we're working on it. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what else. Um, yeah, we'll see. Maybe some more yarn hauls, maybe some more um crochet alongs as I go through treatment. That's something that may be happening. The disease that they recently diagnosed me with, you get treated by an IV immunoglobulin IG um, to help reset your immune system. So who knows? Maybe I'll be doing crochet alongs with y'all as I sit and I take my IVs. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I'm excited and I can't wait to share more of this with you, more of my story. And okay, guys, I don't know quite how I'm going to end them going forward, other than my love y'alls, but it's something about hope because that's what One Hook, Two Hands is for me, is hope. And um, I don't know what that looks like, but we're gonna find out. And I don't know how I'm gonna say it, but because a hope-filled week, I don't know if that's the right one, but I really feel led to like something around hope, and so that will be the sign off from now on, but I don't know what that is. Just know that I love y'all and can't wait to meet you in the lives, hopefully here shortly. Bye.